What is up, fam? Welcome back to episode 175 of the Morning Skate. Today, we are going to be talking about the U.S. World Juniors, taking home that NHL division previews, and we're a show now. Moving on from podcast to an all new show. We got a new software we're playing around with. So without further ado, I'm your host, BizDev. We've got Ked and Hal today. Ked's here. He's got a lot to talk about. He's in a pretty good mood. He's recently upped his gear game, so we'll talk about that a little bit. And we've also got Hal, who's making his debut back out on the ice after a 2-month hiatus. Ked, how you doing?
I'm feeling good. I think so. We have this new platform called StreamYard. We got it yesterday. Dale hopped on a call with me. Our boy Fink hopped on. We kind of fucked around with it a bit, and I don't know. I think it's going to turn our podcast into a show. I think you mentioned that already, but it's going to be pretty cool. I think at some point we're going to start just doing live podcasts, maybe, where we'll have like a specific day of the week and time that people can hop on. It goes on YouTube, Twitter, pretty much whatever you want. It's pretty cool. I'm really excited about it. We can insert video clips and stuff and audio, and it's way easier to edit. So I think in terms of just quality value, I think it's going to really skyrocket. And shout out to Andy from the Broadway boys. Shout out to him for kind of walking us through and showing us this hidden gem. So yeah, I'm pumped up.
Right on. Hal, how you doing today?
Pretty good, dude. I guess this is pretty exciting. I never really wanted to look at myself. That was also I don't think I ever listened to our theme song like in full since Noah did it for us. That was great. Noah shreds. So that was kind of cool to be forced to hear that. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm also excited, like Dale's the host now, so it's kind of exciting to critique Dale like we normally do. Positive, negative feedback probably all will be included today, right? Like I would say this is Dale having a bigger role. Like I don't really understand if you're watching this, like the screens and shit, I don't get what's happening, but if Dale's doing it, then he's doing it and I get to critique him about it.
No Whiteside. Shout out Cookbag.
Shout out Cookbag, no Whiteside. But yeah, dude, I'm excited to get it going. I did kind of have a big day yesterday. Shout out Hockey Night in Canada for reposting my video on Twitter. Over 600,000 followers. Pretty big deal. Hockey Night in Canada.
I would go on our Twitter and all of a sudden I see a fucking tweet or a retweet and it says Hockey Night in Canada and I see our tag and I'm like, what's going on? And then I see your ugly fucking face and I was like, no shit, Garrison got us retweeted by Hockey Night in Canada. That was huge. I mean, I would say that's our second biggest one. I would put the Ducks just a little bit more just because it was NHL, but still, dude, Hockey Night in Canada, that's like every night of the week. So great job.
Pretty freaking cool. Thank you, dude. So without further ado, we are going to get into NHL in the news. All right, NHL in the news. We're starting it off today a little bit different just because the World Juniors just concluded. USA taking home the gold. Boys, I don't know, Ked, you might have doubted it, but take it away, dude. We're champs.
I'm going to put this up right now. I hope that's okay, Dale. Is it okay if I mess with stuff too as we're going on, as if we wheel and deal? So, totally. I don't know if people remember this, but I put up this tweet not that long ago. USA Hockey's about skill, which is cool, but I can't remember the last time we had a bad mamma jamma. All perimeter players, not one of them eats nails for breakfast. They're too busy taking down kale smoothies and packing lips with hummus. So I tweeted that out after they got throttled by Team Russia. I couldn't have been more wrong, I guess, considering the U.S. won gold. I know I got a lot of backlash. I was going to put $200 on Canada to beat USA, and I hit up my buddy, and he's like, I'm not taking that bet, and pretty much just called me every bad name in the book. So shout out to Cowboy for not letting me take that bet. And now I put $200 in the stock market, dude. I'm in the pot game. I'm into that and cryptocurrency. So I've already made a few bucks off of that. So I mean, that's big for me. Spin zone really quick, because obviously I'm not just going to say that I was wrong. I had how many likes it had? 401 likes. Do you think they use this as bulletin board material? Do you think that they put this in their locker room where they're like, fuck Morning State Ked. Let's go to battle. What do you think?
No, I don't think they do that, dude. I think, right? Like, what are the fucking chances fucking Trevor Zegras gives a fuck what you have to say? No offense, dude. I don't know. I agree with you. I was hard on them, too. I think our consensus was we wanted them to win. We didn't think that they would. And you're right. One part on the broadcast that kind of stuck out to me, I guess their top 4 centers were all technically not there. Like, the group when they were, like, winning U18s, U16s, or whatever, like, Hughes, Beecher, Robertson, they had like top 6 forwards that were all gone from that original group. They're not there, and I think that kind of allowed guys like Berard or Bobby Brink, who are going to play more of like energy role player roles, to kind of shine on this team, and I think it was actually a positive for them in the end. My other thing, Nate Lehman, I told you guys this before, so Nate Lehman, USA hockey coach, right? I think we kind of briefly brought him up last podcast. Looked it up, kind of crazy, went to Cortland, played D3 there, so he's a World Juniors coach now, and you went to Cortland and blew your knee out, but you have a podcast, so we're pretty much on the same playing field, right? Like, went to Cortland, then he ended up at Union after being an assistant for a few years, won a national championship. We're upstate New York guys, like, Union's really not supposed to be a hockey powerhouse. Like, RPI used to dump all over them till he got there. Then he goes to Providence and wins a national championship there, and now he wins World Juniors at USA. I saw someone tweet out he's a serial winner. And, like, if I'm USA Hockey, I just make this guy the next coach at the Olympics. I think it's a no fucking brainer.
He's got some real John Cooper vibes, right? Like, he just seems like every level that he goes to. And you mentioned a good point with Union Hockey. Like, I don't know if people know this. I don't think they give out athletic scholarships. I think it's strictly like an academic scholarship type thing. And they do 3 semesters instead of 2, I'm pretty sure.
Trimesters, yeah.
I would hate that as a student. Can you imagine having to go to school for 3 semesters or trimesters or whatever? I thought trimesters was like a pregnancy thing.
I don't think it makes a difference in the length. It's just how they break it up.
Still, 2 is a lot better than 3, I think.
Yeah, I 100% agree with Northeastern's like that too. And I actually think Providence is like that too. So maybe he's just a big trimester guy.
I don't know. I don't know. Kind of cool that he went to Cortland. That's where I went for a real brief stint. But I don't know. It's pretty cool. Shout out to USA. I love when they beat Canada. I think the last 3 times they faced Canada, the gold medal game, they've won. So
how about Trevor Zegras, right? Ducks prospect. I wouldn't say I was a Zegras guy before. I just would say I didn't know a ton about him. Went to BU. I mean, he's putting up like historical USA hockey numbers.
Yeah, he's silky. Like, he has the vision, and I think he was interviewed earlier in the thing talking about goals. And he's like, yeah, normally I'm not a goal scorer. The puck is just finding it. But, dude, you look at some of the shots that he was making. The fact that he said he wasn't a goal scorer, it's just –
dude, he had 18 points, and his 2 line mates each had 8 points. And they were second and third on the team in scoring. Like, insane.
It was unreal. And Dave Starman loved it, dude. The one guy loves saying Artie Party. Of course, Arthur Kaliev's the guy who scores a goal to get U.S. to go to the gold medal game. I played hard because I didn't think the U.S. were going to beat Canada, and then I got home. There's like 10 minutes left to go in the game, and it seemed like every single time there was a 50-50 puck, U.S. got it. And you want to know what? Ryan Rashog, or whatever his name is, not a fan of that guy trying to stir up controversy, telling me that the U.S. brought out a garbage can with Canada's thing on it. That's click. Get your clicks up, Ryan. Like, do a little bit of research. Ask first. Don't just try to soil 18-year-old kids. I love how they're like, no, it's barrel by barrel. I tried to get blocked by Ryan for an entire day. He didn't do it. Guy's gutless.
That's classic. One more thing. Spencer Knight. I feel like we would be wrong if we didn't mention Spencer Knight. Wrong about this fucking kid, too. 940 save percentage in World Juniors, 6 games. I think the first game he kind of sucked, and it just felt like, here we go again. It's like Al Montoya, all those USA hockey goalies have passed, but he stood on its head. Like, end of the day, Zegras or Knight were the reason USA probably won. So
also Brett Berard. So.
And if you're a Florida Panthers fan, you're pumped, right? Like, that's exciting to have that goalie in your pipeline. Although you still have Bob signed for like $100 million
for like 100 million more years.
Yeah, tough.
So one player that really stood out to me, I think, and I don't know how high, I don't even know where he was drafted, but Boldy to me just looked like a really steady, smart player, always making the right play. And then Zegras,
Yeah. Before you get on to Zegras, Feverboy Rex is going to be pumped that you said that because Feverboy Rex is a huge, what was it, Boldy guy?
Boldy, yeah. There's
between his legs, like goes to the front of the net. I think he's a Boston College product.
He's a Massachusetts kid, first-round pick to the Wild, Billy Guerin. Billy Guerin drafted that, and I think that's the route the Wild are going to go. Another guy, remember a couple podcasts ago, I think we brought it up. The Wild have the leading scorer in like I think it was the USHL, the OHL, the WHL, the Q, and like maybe the KHL or some shit like that. And now they have this kid too. So the prospects are fucking aplenty.
Yeah. Last thing I was about to say about Zegras was just I kept waiting for him to make a bad play or like not back check or like, and I just kept zoning in. I'm like, this kid is fucking really good.
Yeah. I mean, the U.S. played such a team game in that gold medal game I mentioned earlier. Every 50-50 puck battle, the U.S. won. And it was unreal. Question for you guys. I think it was because of COVID, but the team captain and the general manager of each team were the ones handing out the gold medals. Canada was obviously very emotional. Then you had Cam York and John Van Beesbrook. I don't know if you saw this, but pretty much every single person went to Cam York instead of the Beezer. I thought that was a little disrespectful.
No, I'm pretty sure that they just had Cam York hand him out. Like it was different than what Canada did. I could be wrong. I don't know. I would want to go to my captain too. Like John Van Beesbrook's like a cool goalie, dude. But like,
well, I just thought it was kind of funny because everybody kept going and Beezer was like, "No, come to my line," and like nobody did it. It reminded me a little bit of last night, Brady versus Henneke, and after the game, I think that's his name, or I don't know, the Buck, not the Buccaneers, who they play?
Washington.
After the game, did you see how he was trying to get Tom Brady to pay attention to him, and it took him like 30 seconds to get Tom Brady to actually turn around and give him a handshake? It just reminded me of the Van Beesbrook gold medal thing all over again.
Yeah,
it's funny.
But I think that's what we have for World Juniors. Awesome USA, red, white, and blue. Are you in or out on that USA Hockey do or die thing? I'm kind of in on it. If they keep winning gold and that's like their thing afterwards, it's kind of like your battle like cry.
Yeah, I don't know who would be out on it, right? Like, it's not bad. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's like overplayed, but like, you know how like everybody tweets it out, like you see it 1,000 times, but the first time you see it, it's still unbelievable. But like by the time World Juniors is over and I've seen the clip like 45 times, it's like cool. Like Kreider was pumped up. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, when I watch that video, I just always look at fucking Kreider because he's right in front and he does this like, yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, fuck, that's still Chris Kreider, but he looks sick. Also, we'll just bring this up right now. Chris Kreider, I am not a fan of the hair. I think he looks, as someone who didn't shower before this and looks homeless, I think it's okay for me to say that Chris Kreider looks homeless in his new headshots. He looked clean. Like Chris Kreider looked like a power forward to me when he had a shaved head at World Juniors. Chris Kreider with a fucking goatee and some like slick back hair looks like he's going through some shit.
Yeah, it's not. I'm trying to find it so we can put it on here, man. It's definitely kind of a weirder type look for him, but it's a lot better than the buzz cut that he came out with. You remember that thing last year when he came to his camp with like a bald head?
I personally like my Chris Kreider bald, I think. I don't really have any reasoning behind it, but that's where I'm at. He just feels like the type of guy that's just like, yo, will you come shave my head real quick? You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't see Chris Kreider going into like a Manhattan beauty salon getting like a $200 haircut. I feel like he just is more of a ripper off. So it's just kind of shocking. Maybe the money changed him after that big contract.
Either the money changed him or Mark Stahl and Henrik Lundqvist are gone. So he thinks there needs to be like that huge, like veteran presence in the lineup, but he can't be walking around with a shaved head.
Fair enough. What's next, Dale? Yeah, that's not the look I saw.
That's not the look. That's really funny that you just put that in there.
That's not the look I'm talking about. He's a lot more. Right. Yeah, I'll send you a photo, but that is. Thank you for doing that.
I think I oh, it's right here. All right. Yeah, keep going. I'll pull it up when we get.
Dale, what's the next topic?
So next, we're just moving right on to NHL in the news. What? And then just division previews. So we'll pull up the divisions.
We have right here.
Are you ready, Ken?
Yep.
All right, here we have the divisions. Maybe you want to, I guess, go left to right. Start with the North. Calgary, Edmonton, Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Vancouver, Winnipeg. Ted, you want to start first? What are your initial thoughts and previews for this division?
Well, yeah. Dale, if you were listening to what we were talking about before, I think the easiest way to do this, because we would spend like 35 minutes going through each division and extent, is me and Ked are both going to pick a team that we like for the season and hate in the season. Is that right, Ked?
I think that's what we're going to do.
Right. So, Ked, let's start in the North Canada division. Who you like?
I really like Calgary. What they did last year, I think, is good. I don't know. I like Calgary a lot. Toronto, obviously, is always there. I like Vancouver in the playoffs a lot. Vancouver can kind of build off what they did last year. I think they'll play really well. So if I'm picking 4 teams to kind of make the playoffs, I have Toronto, Calgary. Edmonton is hard to pick against McDavid and Draisaitl, especially in all-Canadian division. And then you have Montreal, Ottawa, Winnipeg, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so you have like an additional 3 teams to kind of, I don't know. I think Calgary, Edmonton, Toronto, Vancouver are going to be my teams that are going to make the playoffs. However, we talked about this last week with Montreal, how they added a whole lot of grit. I think it'll be fun to watch that. Calgary, Edmonton playing like 8 times a season is going to be unreal. I'm pumped I have the NHL Center Ice package, but I don't know. I think it'd be hilarious if Toronto shits the bed this year.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I think this is going to be the division everyone's eyes are going to be on. My team, I said that I love. I don't think this team's going to win the division, but I kind of gave them a hard time. It's the Canucks. I thought their fan base last year needed to pump their brakes. Like, you remember people were like, oh my God, this is like the second coming of like those Montreal teams in the 1990s. It's like it's no way it's close to that yet. You're excited about Demko, right? You're excited about all of their young players. And ultimately, the reason I picked them, I just wanted to bring that up. Did you see that Gaudette Mott fight in training camp? Yep. Happened yesterday. It looked like Mott kind of slew-footed Gaudette. I like that. I thought Gaudette was just a kid who had like a Twitch stream and went to Northeastern and was kind of a pretty boy. So if he's going to be dropping the gloves and kind of trying to take on that bottom 6 role because they're so stacked on the first 2 lines, I love that for them. So I think this is a year that the Canucks kind of bounce back, definitely make the playoffs again, and I look for Holtby to have a good season too.
So if you were to pick 4 teams that are going to make the playoffs out of the North, who do you have?
I don't know because I don't have the divisions in front of me.
Now you do.
I guess I would say, I mean, this is kind of putting me on the spot. Toronto, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton.
That's kind of
I think that's pretty much the obvious answer. The only question, the team that I kind of hate the most, and this is kind of like a bold take, but not really, is the Oilers. I'm not saying that they're not going to make the playoffs. I definitely think that they will. But like, if you look at it, it just feels like it's like years 5 or whatever, 6 with Connor McDavid, and they have Draisaitl, and their team just still doesn't look to be there yet. You know what I mean? It's missing that depth that I like on forward. I think Tyson Barrie will be electric on the power play, and I think it's great that guy was able to get out of Toronto and all the scrutiny he was facing there. But like Kyle Turris, like, do you like that move for the Oilers? Do you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like I've been waiting for the Oilers to have that off season where it's like, okay, they did it. They reloaded like for McDavid and Draisaitl.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're there yet. I think Turris is kind of I don't know, Barry's a pretty good player too, but
yeah, I like their D. Like, I actually think their D's going somewhere. They don't have any elite defensemen, but Barrie, Bear, Caleb Jones, Clefbaum, Adam Larson, Darnell Nurse, Chris Russell, like, that's solid. They have solid NHL defensemen. So it's not like you can point at that. You got to look at Mikko Koskinen or whatever with wearing 19 and that makes me sick. And then Mike Smith's back there. It's like, how much more Mike Smith can you take?
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that for sure. And like, let's move on to the West Division. This is actually, before we kind of get into that, we also have they kind of sponsor each division now. So the North Division, Scotia, West is Honda, Central is Discover, and East is Mass Mutual. So in the Honda NHL West Division.
Really quick, if you have a dump in your pants about that, like, grow the fuck up. That's my take on it. We have hockey back. The NHL has to pay the bills. It's not like we're the goddamn NBA. Like, oh, boo-hoo, they have stickers on their helmets now. Get over it.
No, yeah. It's they're just paying the bills.
Yeah, dude. Like, if we get hockey back, like, if this is what they have to do, it's fine. Like, when you're driving down the highway, you see a couple billboards. Does it ruin the scenic view? Sometimes. Is it necessary? 100%.
Yeah, do you pull over the car and get out and start stomping your feet and fucking going all over the place? No, you drive by, dude. It's a billboard.
Yeah, actually, there's no billboards in the state of Maine, though. Fun fact. So.
Okay, dude, you guys are too good for billboards. Got it. So the Honda NHL West Division. I think I'm gonna kind of pivot. And I'm just gonna pick 4 teams that are gonna make and a team that I hate. I like Vegas, St. Louis, Colorado, and then that battle for the 4 spot. You have San Jose, Minnesota, Los Angeles, Arizona, Anaheim. Arizona made the playoffs last year for a quick second. It was nice to see them bounce back there. I don't know. Is this the year that the San Jose Sharks kind of make a run? What about Minnesota? LA, they have Drew Doughty kind of complaining about people don't give him respect. Anaheim, I don't think it's quite there yet. If I'm going to pick my 4th team, I'm going to go back to Arizona, dude. Hopefully they can make it happen again. However, they did lose Derek Stepan, who I think was kind of a big player for them to kind of get their picks back for cheating. I am my 4th team there. And I don't know why, but they always kind of stick around, and I don't think they're that good. But again, they stick around. My 4th team's going to be Minnesota. Maybe they battle back. Zuccarello, who knows? I love that guy. Minnesota Wild, state of hockey. The team I hate Los Angeles, dude. Maybe they kind of make a run. Like they're getting old. You know what I mean? They're not that young team anymore.
Yeah, the one thing I would say on that though is if you're a LA Kings fan, I feel like LA's kind of gotten bundled in the last couple of drafts. You have Byfield and you have Turcotte now. So those are 2 pretty elite prospects for forwards. No, like I agree where their roster currently is old and probably not going to perform, but you do have young guys to look forward to.
Yeah, they're on their way. I just don't think that they're there yet.
Okay, I'm cool with that. I don't know. I don't have too much on this division. I just went pretty chalk. I don't have like the top whatever, but I would definitely say the Avalanche are the favorites. Like no matter what anybody.
Simple, easy,
No, I just got pop-ups coming up because I was trying to do some research. Yeah, I just think the Avs are going to win this division. I talked about it before. Like they've been the hot team to pick the last couple of years. I thought they just needed to continue to build and build, and at this point, I just think their defense is too electric. Like Bo Byram is coming in there. That's going to be interesting to see with how stacked they already are. Or maybe he's not. I don't really know what's going to happen there, to be honest with you. But I like the Avs. And the team I hate, I'm just going to stick with my theme. It's the Golden Knights. Like, I don't know. For whatever reason, it just started out when the Golden Knights got to the Stanley Cup final. It was built on guys like Englund, Reeves, Pierre-Marc Bellemare. You know what I mean? Just like those scrappy dudes that nobody wanted. I feel like they don't have enough of those guys, and they have too many Pacioretty's in the locker room. And like you saw it, like it was vocal that people were shook when Nate Schmidt got traded. Like he was a big part of that, like in the locker room, like on the ice. And they basically are just like, we just signed you to an extension, and now we're going to flip you because we think Pietrangelo is a better option for us. And like as a player, you're pumped because your team just got better. But like when you look at it, it's like they're kind of destroying everything that we built. The players, like the players grinded that out. You know what I mean? And it just seems like with the Fleury, Leonard stuff is super weird. I just think there's a lot of weird things that go on in Vegas now, and the honeymoon's over. And I've been banging this drum forever. And listen, I've been saying since Vegas entered the league that they stink, and they've been proving me wrong, but they don't have a cup yet. Like they really haven't burned me yet. They do not have a Stanley Cup.
And on top of that, now we got COVID. That home ice advantage that the Vegas Knights had. I mean, they're still playing in their rink, but the fans aren't there. The players aren't really allowed to go get at the casinos anymore. Who knows? I think this year is going to be the real, like, where is Vegas in terms of an NHL hockey team?
True. Like, you know, when you don't have like the Broadway production on ice and like the EDM like music pumping into the crowd, what do you have in Vegas?
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. You're right. They probably have the biggest home ice advantage. Counterpoint though, from what I understand, Vegas is still packed during COVID. And like players, we're just assuming that millionaire 20-year-olds are going to sit in their hotel rooms and look down at packed Vegas. Like, do you foresee like issues coming from that, or?
I mean, if there's a huge problem. A huge problem. I want to think that they're going to be professionals and like not do that.
100%. If the World Junior kids can stay in like a Marriott for like 5 weeks straight in their hotel room, I think like they can like stay in the Ritz-Carlton in Las Vegas and get room service. I agree.
You would hope so, but yeah. So that's kind of what we have in the. Did you end up making your pick for a team there?
Yeah, Avs were my good, Knights were my bad. I don't have a top 4 there. I'd have to think it through.
Okay, and now we're going to go on to the Central. Carolina, Chicago, Columbus, Dallas, Detroit, Florida, Nashville, and Tampa. The team I like, obviously, Tampa. I mean, they don't have Kucherov, which is kind of a buzz, but they're going to be good. Dallas is actually, we had this later in the news. They had 6 players test positive and 2 staff members, so they're not going to be starting off when they should. Our writer, Fink, is having a conniption right now because all he wants to do is watch hockey. Sorry, Fink. The team I like in this, the Columbus Blue Jackets. I'm going to tell you why. There are less games played this year. I think the games matter a lot more. You're going to be playing the same teams eight times or whatever. If you look at Columbus, they lost Josh Anderson, who was pretty much out last year with that shoulder surgery, and they lost Alex Wenberg on a buyout. But they brought in Max Domi. They brought in Mikko Koivu, who has a lot of experience as the former captain of the Minnesota Wild, and Mikhail Grigorenko. Not much to him, but I think Max Domi is going to really fit in there. Pierre-Luc Dubois kind of came out. We're going to talk about that later, how he doesn't want to be in Columbus. So depending on what happens with him, who knows. But I think Tortorella, out of any coach in the NHL, is going to have his team ready for a 56-game season.
Yeah, I guess, dude. I understand what you're saying. My reservation with the Blue Jackets is it just like it's the same story with Dubois wanting to leave now. Everyone always wants to leave. I don't know if that creates an issue. That's like my only thought on it. I agree with your thought process. I 100% think they'll be right there for the playoffs. I wish you had that screen back up because that's kind of what I was looking at. But I have it right here. I guess my central pick is Tampa. I think you touched on it. You said Kucherov's out. I 100% agree. I think that's the best possible thing for Tampa, that he's going to come back for the playoffs. I'm sure he'll be training his balls off when he's rehabbing, so that'll be good, right? And the other thing, too, to think about, it's a 50-game season like you just said. So, like, does the playoff hangover really happen in that sense where you're still playing 80 games? If you played 30 playoff games, it's still like an 80-game season almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're logging less games the last 2 years. So if there's any time for a Stanley Cup champ to have a better road, it might be that.
Yeah. They also lost 2 of their top 6 because Kevin Shattenkirk and Zach Bogosian moved on.
Right. So I guess, but I still think their D has depth, and I'm sure they have young guys. I know for a fact one of their best defensemen in the AHL is Adam Foote's son, so that's not a bad prospect to have. Team I hate. The team I hate in this is Nashville. The real answer, I think, is Chicago. Taze is out. Yeah. Kirby Doc's out, right? That's going to suck ass.
They lost Crawford, Brandon Saad, and Ole Mata as well.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's tough. Ole Mata's kind of a wash. My thing is with Nashville, the reason I'm down on them, if you look at their D, like you think back to when they had Seth Jones and all of those defensemen and their top 6 was just stacked, they don't have the same D core anymore. Like they have Yossi and Ellis, which is a great first pairing. And then you have Ekholm, Fabro, Borwetsky, and Matt Benning. Like that's not the same caliber D that you're used to seeing in Nashville. No, I just think they continue to fall apart. Like when your top 2 centers are Ryan Johansson and Matt Duchene, like I'm always going to question if you can be legit. So I don't see it in Nashville. I see them continuing to take a step back.
Yeah, and one other thing, if you look at the Florida Panthers, they brought in Anthony Duclair, Hornquist, and Gudis, but they lost Dadonov, Mike Hoffman, and Eric Holla. I think those are all pretty good players. So I might be out on Florida as much as I am out on a team like Chicago or Nashville.
Is this the easiest division in the league, you think?
If you're a good team, yes. Because Carolina,
like Tampa, Dallas, like.
Well, I don't know, because Carolina, Dallas, and Tampa, I think, are for sure shoo-ins. And then you have Nashville, Florida, Detroit, Columbus, and Chicago. I would think Columbus would be that 4 spot, but
I think there's really 5 good teams: Tampa, Florida, Dallas, Columbus, Carolina. Correct? Like that's basically the 5 teams.
I think they're good teams, but you really only have like 2.
Super good. Yeah.
Well, maybe 3. Dallas, Tampa. I don't know if Carolina's super good quite yet, but yeah. But that's what we have for the Central. Now we're going to move on to the East. We have Boston, Buffalo, Jersey, Islanders, Rangers, Philly, Pittsburgh, Washington. Before we kind of get into this, I did want to pull this up really quick. Look at that mug.
Yeah, that's the photo I was looking for. I don't know. Maybe it's just how he's posing. Like the jersey looks kind of funky too. Where's Dale? Is Dale still here?
Yes, he is. Dale is still here. Oh, he was.
Okay, well, what do you have? I mean, Kreider's new look, I don't know. Maybe it's the jersey, honestly.
It won't let me add Dale back to the stream. Okay, now.
I'm here.
All right. It's kind of a weird look. Like, here's the thing. This is the kind of look where if I see this guy in the streets, I'm immediately turning around and going the other way. That guy kind of creeps me out a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know. See, in the photo that Dale had earlier, he was a little more clean cut. We don't have to spend too much more time on this. The one thing I was just workshopping out loud, boys, if you're like, I don't want the podcast, like, this is a podcast first. At this point, like, I would just like we have people that are listening to this in the car, probably like fucking sick photo, but so maybe we couldn't stress photos too much. Right. If you're listening to this podcast right now, I'd be like, fucking what?
No, yeah. I mean, look up if you're listening to it, look it up, or just go on our YouTube where this video is.
There you go.
Yeah. So back to the East Division. Obviously Boston. And then after that, I think you have two obviouses. I think you have Boston and you have Philly. I think those guys are going to be pretty decent chances of making the playoffs. From there, you have Buffalo, Jersey, Islanders, Rangers, Pittsburgh, and Washington. You want a surprise from Ked. What team over the past 4 years have gone on absolute rolls at the beginning of the season? It's the Buffalo Sabres, dude. Brought in Taylor Hall. I don't know what the Sabres do at the beginning of the year that they don't do at the end of the year. Can you imagine if Buffalo goes on like a 30-game like buzz where they go, let's say, 21-9, and then they fall off? Who knows? Maybe Buffalo sneaks in. Doubt it, but I'm just going to put that out there. Washington, I think, is going to be there, right? I mean, the Washington Capitals are always pretty good. So I have Boston, Washington, Philly. From there, do my Rangers sneak in? I think that kind of depends on how well they play against the Islanders and how well Pittsburgh Penguins can stay healthy. Those are always kind of question marks. You dive a little bit further into it. The Devils, they lost Corey Crawford. We'll get into that in a little bit. I'm never a big Devils guy. The Islanders, they lost Grice. They lost Devon Taves and Johnny Boychuk. They did get that Sorokin rookie goalie, so maybe they'll fill Grice's thing. We'll get into the Rangers in a little bit. The Flyers, they got Eric Gustafson. They lost some guys who I don't think were all that important to the team that they had going on. The Penguins brought in Kasperi Kapanen, Jankowski, Colton Sevier, Cody Ceci, Mike Matheson. They lost Matt Murray, Hornquist, Butstad, Sheary, Marlowe, Schultz, Johnson. They lost a ton of people. And then you go into Washington. They got a new head coach, Peter Laviolette, Connor Sheary, Justin Schultz, Chara, Craig Anderson to help fill that role that Hank was going to before he wasn't able to. And they lost Holtby, Kovalchuk, and Gudas. I want to say the Rangers are going to make the playoffs this year. Will they? If they do, that'd be awesome. It's just going to be a lot of fun. What do you have on the East Division, Hal?
Yeah, I mean, so this is where both our teams are, right? I think so my thought process on this as a Bruins fan when I look at this division is it makes me really nervous because I think there are arguably 7 teams in this 8-team division that could have a chance of making the playoffs. But I'm looking at it from the perspective I think Toronto and Tampa is better than any other team in this division. My homer pick, I'm just going to say I love the Bruins. I don't know if you want me to get into that or not. I actually don't love the Bruins as much as I'm going to say I do. So I'll disclaimer that. The team that I hate, and this is going to be a hot one, sorry to Hank, it's the Flyers. Something really grind my gears the other day. Someone retweeted it. AV was quoted, making the playoffs is non-negotiable. We're getting in. It's like, okay, AV, take a step back. Like, the Flyers were a really hot team in the bubble when it was like the preseason mode, and then they kind of fell apart. Like, are we just accepting that the Flyers are this just unbelievable hockey team that's going to dominate the East? Because that's the way people are kind of putting it to me. Like, what have they proven? That Claude Giroux can't put up points in the playoffs? Do you know what I mean, Ked? Like, are you super scared of the Flyers? Do you think they'll be a top 2 team? 100%?
Well, dude, here's the thing. The Flyers historically have come off very slow starts to begin the year. Like that's kind of like their thing. And this year, again, it's not 82 games, it's 56 games, and there's a whole lot of games being played in like a decently short period of time. I don't know, man. I agree with the whole AV being cocky thing, dude. That does kind of bother me. Kind of makes me think that I hope people just punch their team in the mouth. I don't know. I think it depends on Carter Hart, right? If Carter Hart can kind of get back to what he was doing last year. And I think a lot of this is going to go on Kevin Hayes. The Flyers are going to need that secondary scoring. Kevin Hayes provides that. He provides a 200 team as well. But it'll be interesting to see whether or not he can continue, doing that. They have a lot of good pieces, right? Travis Konechny. I think Ivan Provorov is one of the most underrated players in the league, and he is because he's a Russian defenseman. And how often do you have really good Russian defensemen? It doesn't happen. Sergei Zubov. Other than that, but if you watch him play, he's a great player.
Dale. Go ahead.
No,
I was just gonna ask Dale. Do you have any hot takes? Anything? Any division? Anything that you're thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously really bullish on the Avalanche. I think they're coming back with a strong team. I think it's their year. I did kind of talk about this before. I just think overall, from like a 10,000-foot view, just the fact that these divisions are different and they're going to be playing each other, and geographically they're all set up. It's going to be interesting and fun to watch. So, do I have anything particular on each team? Not really, other than it's going to be awesome watching these teams play each other 7-8 times a season. Yeah,
no, that's all I wanted. I just wanted a quick thought process. I love it. I also love the word bullish. That seems like a Gary V word, kind of. Right? Like, is that something like you wake up and you look at, like, you open Robinhood and you look at your stocks and you're like, damn, the market's so fucking bullish right now, dude?
Yeah, I mean, you should really ask Cad, because he's now the cryptocurrency and stock market guru of the group. It sounds like.
I am, dude. I do have and utilize the Robinhood app.
I feel like getting into cryptocurrency in 2021 is kind of a wild move, but respect to you.
Dogecoin, dude. I don't know much about it. I just Instagram. Okay, I'm gonna buy 5,000 shares of Dogecoin for like $12.
Right,
I don't think you're pronouncing it right, so you're off to a good start.
Dude, when I'm living in my mansion off my Dogecoin, dude, you guys can come over and hang out.
Can we just do like a NASDAQ like stock ticker at the bottom of the show that says weed stock?
You just show how my weed stocks and my Dogecoin. Yeah, we'll see how.
What is like Dogecoin? Sounds like something that's like.
Bro, I had no idea. I had like $20 lying around. I saw an Instagram post. I was like, all right, I'll put it in this.
What's like the big sale, like Dodge Fest or whatever? That sounds like you could get like low financing on a new like Dodge Ram, like at Dodge Fest with your Dogecoins.
You could, dude. I heard Fox Automotive sponsors it too.
Yeah.
But those were our division previews. Now we're gonna move on to a little bit of little stories that we have going on. First things first, Corey Crawford announced his retirement after 10 NHL seasons. He just recently signed a 2-year, $3.9 million AAV with the Devils, a two-time Stanley Cup champion, a two-time All-Star, and a two-time William M. Jennings Trophy winner. Is this just I don't want to play on the Devils?
I don't know, man. We talked about it before. I think the Devils are sometimes the easiest organization to make fun of. I don't know why. I think it might just because we grew up in New York and like they were so dominant, and like you can always tell a Devils kid like when you're growing up or like your friends, your Devils friends like
Casca.
And I respect them. I think it takes balls to like live in New York and be like, I'm picking the Devils as my favorite team. Do you know what I mean? And to the guys who stuck with them, not the guys who just kind of rode that high. But yeah, that could be the angle. Maybe he got there. I think
I love that. Who's your favorite player on the Devils? And you get was Marty Brodeur still playing?
Yeah, exactly. Scott Stevens. I don't know, man. He had head issues though, right? So I don't want to. I hope he's all right. I mean, 1-2 Stanley Cups. We made fun of him a lot. I thought his black pads were gross. .918 save percentage, right? 28,000 minutes in net. I don't know if that's a lot or not, and if I read that correctly, but 28,000 minutes like in an NHL game being on the ice, that's kind of a shit ton, no?
You're on his Wikipedia page right now, aren't you?
I was earlier. Dude.
You went 260, 162, and 53. 918 save percentage, 2.45 goals against. He was behind some really, really, really good teams. Is Corey Crawford a Hall of Famer?
I think Corey Crawford's a Hall of Famer like 30 years from now, maybe. Do you know what I mean? He gets
like an immediate one. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the Blackhawks are the dynasty of this era. Like, he was a part of that. Like, he didn't win the first cup. Who was the Finnish goalie? Why am I blanking? Who was their first goalie in the first Stanley Cup?
A Finnish goalie. Wasn't Hobby, but Niemi?
Niemi. Remember Antti Niemi won the first cup and then he left, and like it was kind of like who's going to take over? Crawford did. Like at the end of the day, he won cups, so it's hard to shit on him, Yeah. But at the same time, when I call Corey Crawford elite, like in the playoffs,
I tell you what, though, if Corey Crawford didn't wear all black pads, we'd probably be stroking this guy off.
I think it's just his setup. He looks like a box lacrosse goalie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? His jersey's tight, his pads are wide, just box lacrosse. That's what I think about, and like that's what throws me off. It's a style issue.
It is, because if he had normal goalie style issue, we'd all probably be like, wow, Corey Crawford's really good.
Also, I learned today, Corey Crawford's from Montreal. I did not take that as a Montreal, Quebec name.
And I'll add on to this. His Stanley Cup speech goes down as maybe the best Stanley Cup speech of all time. When he's he's like, "Fuck yeah, Chicago!"
That was, I think, people like really pumped up the Washington Capitals parade. But if you look back, Kane was hammered, Versteeg was hammered.
Yeah,
like, that was the original. Like, these people are very drunk in public.
Yeah, dude. And like now, years down the road, you hear Chris Versteeg like talk about how like him and Coach Q get like pissy at each other. And like one practice, he went out there like pregame skate, and every puck he just put over the boards. Like those are the kind of shit. Like that's why that team wins championships, because they have character.
100%.
But so that's the old Corey Crawford there, bud. Now we're gonna move on. Matt Barzal, he finally signs 3 years, 7 AAV. 23-year-old star center will earn $3 million with a $1 million signing bonus, and $7 million. Then the final year, he's going to be earning $10 million. Can you imagine cashing a check for $10 million? I don't. Fuzzy inside.
I don't get it, dude. My whole thing on this is I think it's Lou losing his touch a little bit. Like, Lou always is the guy, Lamoriello is the guy who is like in like contract disputes with like young players. He doesn't want to pay them. Guys hold out. It's kind of a weird deal. Like, I would personally want Barzal just to be wrapped up long term. Like, what's going to happen in 3 years? He's going to take $10 million and then bounce? Like,
he's going to be 26 years old in his prime with unrestricted free agency.
I'm pretty sure going to make so much money.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's few people in the NHL that can skate the way that guy skates and can control the – I mean, if you look at Islanders, they're a very defensive team, right? But there's times when Barzal has the puck on his stick for literally 50 seconds, just like skating in the zone, going back out to the neutral zone, coming back in. Like, he's a very dynamic player, and he's doing it in a defensive system. Can you imagine if he was doing it in a system where it's like, do whatever the fuck you want?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I agree. And they just lost their franchise player. They just lost Tavares a couple years ago. Like, why would you not lock him up long term? I mean, good for Barzal. He gets that $10 million that year, and then he's going to get a ridiculous contract. And like at the end of the day, what's Lou Lamoriello betting on? That Barzal like declines over the next couple of years, because then he's fucked.
I look like Barzal right now. I don't know. I think he's a great player. 3 years. I mean, 3 years is a long time though. You got to think about it that way. But I don't know. I would, if I was an Islanders fan, I would want him locked up for like 10. You know who does a really good job at the whole like bridge contract and long-term contract? If you look at the Nashville Predators, they're very, very good at like getting their really good guys signed for a decent amount of money, very long-term. Like
Roman Josi signed like $4 million, like 4.25 for like 8 years or something.
That's been their bread and butter for forever. Like the Predators are very good at getting their young players when they want to and having to take off.
You know what I actually love too on that one? The one contract that I think is so funny, Colton Sissons, who's like a bottom 6 guy for them. They gave him like a 6-year deal at like 1.8 a year, but they locked up their role player till he's like 30, and I kind of love it. You know, I like stuff like that too.
100%. I wish the Rangers would have done that with like Jesper Fast years ago. Like you see a guy like that, 6 years, 2.5 mil. You want it?
And you know those are the type of players that'll serve their role till like
they'll serve their role, and those are the type of players you need in the playoffs. Like, so.
And it always sucks. Like when you lose a star player, it's tough. But sometimes it's even worse when you see those role players that you love go to like a different team, like usually in like the West Coast, and they sign for like $2 million, and it's like, come on.
I want to come out with a t-shirt that says "Lock up your role players."
Yeah, 100%.
Right, we're a role player podcast.
We're just telling NHL GMs to give role players 9-year deals, like
9 years, 1.5 mil. Evander Kane being sued. He's back in the news. Centennial Bank sued Evander Kane and the San Jose Sharks on Thursday in Florida federal court, claiming Kane owes them more than $8.3 million in principal and interest. According to Centennial, Kane received an initial $3.9 million loan from the Arkansas-based bank for business and investment opportunities September 2018. The loan was secured by his Sharks contract, a 7-year, $49 million pact. Additional loans were secured against Kane's contract over time. Per the complaint, the San Jose Sharks were contractually obligated to pay the bank directly from Kane's wages. However, Centennial says they stopped receiving direct deposits from the team in October 2019. In addition, Kane allegedly defaulted on the loan by missing a payment in December 2019 and has made no payment since.
I'm just gonna come out and say it. My first take on this is I love that Evander Kane's response was, I'm gonna pick a fight with the Paul brothers and make this money, dude. I love it. Like it sucks Evander Kane's in trouble again. Like,
there he is.
Overall, great player, dude. If you look back, right,
great player.
Thrasher draft pick, knocked out Matt Cook when he was like 18, 19. Kind of loved him ever since then. He's always in the news, though. But again, I think it's just primal to be like, I owe this bank $8 million. They're about to sue my ass. Like, let's get in a ring and punch some faces in. And like we talked about it, like would the Sharks even let him do it? I think it's becoming clear the Sharks would not let him do it. And he was just like, oh shit, I need this money quick.
Yeah. Here's my thing. And if anybody's listening to this podcast, you have to be younger than 18 if you're listening, and you end up making the NHL. Here's a little piece of advice from Ken. The first thing you do is hire somebody to manage your money. That is literally the first thing that you do. Call whoever you need to make sure that they're like good at what they do and they've done it for a long period of time. It blows my mind when athletes run out of money. There's not a single athlete on planet Earth that makes more than – dude, I would even say if you make more than $2 million, you should have somebody who's going to manage that money for you so you're not in situations like this. This is so fucking stupid. This guy made so much money. How does Evander Kane owe somebody $8.3 million? I'm going to look up his was it cap? What's the cap thing? Evander Kane.
While you do that, let's throw it over to BizDev Dale. What's your take? Cadu just bought some bull coins, feeling like a financial advisor. Do you have the same financial advice? What are you thinking here? What went wrong?
That's what I'm wondering. How do you get into a position where you owe $8.3 million? That's a lot of money. I got to be honest, I didn't read this full story before we started, but loan defaulting on loans, it looks like.
Yeah, dude. Here's the thing. I don't make dick for money. I don't make dick for money, but like at the end of the day, like I would be so uncomfortable not paying a bill. You know what I mean?
Here it is. 12 seasons. Total cash he's been paid out on his contracts, $55 million. $55 million. How do you not have this money lying around? Where did it go?
Do you think does that include his $47 million contract that he signed, or is that what he's played through so far? Because he signed a $47 million last year.
That is what he has played through so far. Total, once all of his contracts are done, $87 million.
Okay. So I mean, at least he knows the money's gonna be there. Maybe he can just stall him for a bit, like act like he lost like their phone number. Change your phone, maybe move, and like they won't know where you are, and you can be like, "Oh, you were sending me mail." Like, there's ways around this, Evander Kane. You have $40 more million coming in. Did you make some mistakes? Sure, but figure it out. Like, he has to be able to figure it out. No.
What do you think the San Jose Sharks are doing? Like, your offseason consists of having to tell Evander Kane to chill out with the Logan Paul brothers, and then getting served probably by some dude who's like, "Oh, hey, you owe Centennial Bank $8 million from Evander Kane. You've just been served."
I don't understand why the San Jose Sharks are involved, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like if I was defaulting on loans, they wouldn't like go to my employer and be like, "Hey, you're sued, bro."
They were contractually obligated to pay the bank back directly from Kane's wages.
Yeah, so I don't know, man.
And it doesn't make much sense to me. Also, like because I'm pretty sure I might be wrong. If somebody gets sued, you have to be served to be sued, correct?
That's how they do it in the movies.
If you're serving the San Jose Sharks, how do you think the person served them? Do you think you dressed up in like an Ed Hardy hat and like a Hollister t-shirt? You walked in, you're like, "Yo, I'm Logan Paul's agent. Here's the fight contract." Just kidding, y'all got served. And then like, how did you think it happened?
You watched Pineapple Express too much, bro.
They probably called Brett Burns and told him there's an anaconda in the parking lot.
Maybe. I don't know. Oh, but you see Brett Burns is on one of the new episodes of Vikings?
No. Oh, yeah. I think I saw like a photo of it. Looks cool. Good for him. I shit on him. Joe Thornton's on the first line of the Maple Leafs. Is that real?
They scored in their scrimmage the other day and he went nuts.
Dude, I don't know. I'm just going to – the good thing about the Bruins not being in the Maple Leafs division this year is I can have an easier time feeling happy for Joe Thornton again because I'm kind of sour on it right now.
I hope we get to see a Boston Bruins or Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't know how the division is going to work once it gets into
So I don't even know if this is true. I don't know if top divisions win it, but for some reason in my brain, and this is probably wrong, I just have it like 4 teams from each division get in, and then it's like I don't know how it would work from there. You're right.
I don't know what division plays what division. Or 4 teams get in each, and then actually I think that's what it is. 4 teams get in each. The 4 teams play each other, and however it is, and then 1 team in each of those divisions make the final 4.
You go to the final bubble. That makes sense.
That was all speculation, though. That might not be accurate. And then lastly, we touched on this a little bit. Dallas Stars had 6 players, 2 staff members. Team facility is closed for a number of days. Star schedule being reviewed will not begin before January 19th, meaning the first 3 games at least have been postponed. That's why we can't have nice things, dude. Like, we have an NHL season coming up. What 6 did Tyler Seguin throw a shaker at Mike McDonald's old house? Like, what happened?
I don't know, man. I don't have too much on it. It's expected. The one thing I'm nervous about, is there going to be a ton of reschedules, or if your team doesn't play a game, does it just get blanked? Like, I'll be interested to see how they do that. That's probably information that's out there, but like,
have to reschedule. Have to, because some teams wouldn't have enough games. You would have to figure out some way. What would be kind of cool, it would never happen, but like, you know how you have double headers in like hockey or baseball? Double header in the NHL.
Yeah, you know what would be sick, and I know it's not feasible, but like if your NHL game got rescheduled, like the AHL teams played each other, and whoever won that game got the NHL point. I know that would never happen.
That would be kind of cool. Unfortunately, the Adirondack Thunder and the New Jersey Devils want to be able to do it. Shout out to all my Thunder buddies in the Glens Falls group. Hope everybody's doing good. But that's what we had in NHL in the news. We're going to move on. We're going to do a little bit of Rangers talk. I just want to run by these really quick. Henrik Lundqvist has posted. He's out. Surgery went really well. About 5 hours to get all taken care of. Appreciate the great staff at Cleveland Clinic. Last few days have been pretty crazy, but he's in good hands. Every day is a step in the right direction. Shout out to the King. Glad that, he's back and, well, not back, but that everything went well, and wish him nothing but the best. One huge story in Rangers news, I just want to touch on it. I don't really want to talk about it. Tony D left Twitter for Parler because of Trump got banned from Twitter or something like that. He's a big Trump supporter. Of course, everybody's pissed off about it. I don't know what's going to happen. The Rangers keep talking that the organization's handling it internally. It's what it is. The fact that people want Tony D traded because he's a Trump supporter blows my mind. Like, I want a Stanley Cup. The next one.
Can we agree, though, and I don't know if you'll throw this out there, can we agree that Tony D's role on the Rangers is wrong? He is electric offensively, I think, and he plays scrappy, but I think sometimes he can have a little bit of a defensive liability. But hey, like Torrey Krug did, and Torrey Krug worked through it, and there's ways to shelter them. But like, who's going to be his partner this year?
They're supposed to be Jacob Trouba, and then the A team played the B team, and D'Angelo and Trouba's team got lit up 6-1. So
I just don't like him in that spot. Like, I like him with like someone more defensive. I don't know what the hands are with someone like Lindgren, but somebody where they can hold D'Angelo accountable defensively in a good way. Do you know what I mean?
Unfortunately, I don't think that we have anybody that can do that right now.
You don't think Lindgren could?
Lindgren's going to be playing with Fox, and if he could, maybe that'd be a who knows kind of a thing. But they don't really have. Lindgren's probably the closest to that stay-at-home kind of person, because you have Trouba, who should be that guy, who came out and said that the New York kind of got to his head and needs to go back to playing the way he was. Like, hey, maybe stop filming all those commercials with Brady Shea talking about how you guys like wore white sunglasses together at prom, and maybe get back to playing your game of hitting and punch people in the face. You have Adam Fox, Ryan Lindgren. You have Smitty, I love him, but he's always kind of a wild card. Jack Johnson, who knows? The one name that's been brought up in camp repeatedly who's having a good camp, there's 2 names. One, Pavel Buchnevich. David Quinn said it's the best camp he's had since he's been a pro. And Keandre Miller, his name keeps getting brought up. I thought it was kind of a pipe dream to see him make the team. It looks like he's going to make the team, which is fucking cool. He's like 6'5", he's huge. But yeah, I would agree with you. I would love to see Tony D'Angelo play with somebody like Hal Gill in his prime, like somebody who's just going to like stay back kind of a player, but I don't think that they have that right now.
The one thing I'd say on that, though, is at least down the pipeline, right, those 2 kids in World Juniors, who you have, Robertson and Schneider, they both look like – did I have those names right? You
had Schneider. I think Robertson might have been in the previous year, but Schneider looked good. He got suspended. Love to see that. He had a nice goal.
He's a good player. They're both 2 pretty good prospects for him.
I mean, the Rangers still have sick prospects coming in, which I'm going to get into as this goes on. But I don't know. We'll see. Vince, I think, is coming on the podcast Monday. We're going to talk about the Rangers training camp and what he has talked. That's Vince. He's one of the Rangers beat reporters. He's been on before. Guy's a beauty. Love everything that he does. I'd love to see this, dude. This story came out in the Post. Brian Boyle might be coming back to the New York Rangers. He spoke with several teams, but the Rangers are one of the teams that are talking to him. They said that they're going to kind of make their decision once the team's been made. No brainer for me. You look at good NHL teams that make a run at the playoffs. How many times does that third and fourth line have an identity? Like a legitimate identity, not like scraps. And I feel like over the last few years, the Rangers have just kind of put their scraps on the fourth line and let them do what they do. Brian Boyle, block shots, wins faceoffs, will stick up for his team. You just lost Mark Stahl. You just lost Henrik Lundqvist. You lost two of your leaders in the locker room. You need that leadership. You cannot have this guy running around telling your kids what to do. No, you need a guy like this. You need Brian Boyle. You need Boiler. You need him out there. Fear Boy Rex sent me this. I wrote a blog about it. It kind of blew up. I hope he comes back. I would fucking love it. Him as a fourth liner. And you have all the people, oh, he's taking time away from the kids. He's taking time away from the kids who are on the fourth line. You'd rather have an 18-year-old play fourth line minutes? You're an idiot. Thank you. Next. See you later. So Brian Boyle may be heading back to Broadway, hopefully. And then the last thing, Pierre-Luc Dubois, he pretty much told Columbus he doesn't want to be there. I think it's a Tortorella situation. The Rangers are rumored to be involved.
Shut the fuck up.
It is. On the post. Well, you also don't forget John Davidson. He came from Columbus. He knows these players. I saw some names that were kind of being thrown into the mix, like Philip Hedl, Keandre Miller, all these things. I saw Capo Caco. As a Rangers fan, I'm trying to figure out what type of package I would give to get Pierre-Luc Dubois, who's I think he's a 21 or 22-year-old. I would say number 1A, 1B center.
Yeah.
Do you give up Capo Caco? You know I'm a huge Capo Caco guy. My old man loved him. I think his first year was a little underwhelming. I'd like to see what he can do in the second year as a player. Would you trade Capo Caco to get Pierre-Luc Dubois?
Yes, but I'm not entertaining this anymore.
But you would.
Yeah, but it would be
would, right?
That's not a knock on Capo.
It isn't. But you have a 21 or 22-year-old first line center.
And he was like a third round pick. You would have to give up more than just Capo, 100% though.
Yeah. But that was my question for you, because I feel like I might get a lot of grief for being like, oh, you're giving up on him too fast. And here's the thing: Capo might very well end up being like an elite player, but it's hard to get those first line, second line centers who are 22 years old. You know what I mean?
And the thing too, sometimes you have to remember, like when you're getting towards the end of a rebuild, if you're trying to rebuild on the fly, it's awesome to have a billion prospects, but not all of them. There's not enough room, and eventually some of them are going to have to be moved. And if you're moving them for an already young player, then it makes sense. Like that's a trade. I don't think it's going to happen, just because I'm pissed off right now that this is even a rumor. But
he's also Pierre-Luc Dubois. If you remember, he played with Panarin.
He did. You know what though? If like, why is it came out that Dubois pissed because he doesn't like Torts essentially. Yeah. I don't like that much. I pump Pierre-Luc Dubois tires a ton, but like, come on, dude.
That was shocking to me, because in terms of like Canadian type thing, Pierre-Luc Dubois has a little bit of an edge to his game. So I kind of thought he was a nail gun, not a guy who's going to complain that it's too hard on him.
And my whole thing with Columbus too is, if Tortorella isn't the coach of the Blue Jackets, I don't think they have these late eighth. You know, they don't get into the playoffs as the 8th team every year like they do. Like that doesn't happen. Like they're a bottom of the barrel team.
No, 100%. I don't know. That's what I have on the Rangers talk. I'm so fucking jacked up for them to play this week, though, dude. I mean, hockey's here. It's here. The NHL's here, dude. We're gonna have an NHL season. Can't wait to see the boys in the home blues, dude.
100%. That's awesome. Am I supposed to go through Bruins?
Yeah, I wrote down a couple things here for you. And, oh yeah, you wrote down a couple too.
All right. I'll power through these really quick. Treese Bergeron named new captain. It's kind of a no-brainer. I feel like I already kind of gave my thoughts on this when Chara left. I know you wanted me to write a blog, dude, but everyone already wrote a blog. No one cares what I have to say. It's a no-brainer, dude. He's the best.
It was funny what they did with Marchand, how they pretended to give him the C. And they even had a jersey. They even had a Marchand jersey with the C on it. Like, they kind of went all in on that.
Yeah, and I'm honestly actually shocked, too, a little bit that Marchand's wearing the A. Like, that was kind of the biggest news to me. Like, Marchand's been, like, the number 5 assistant captain on the team for, like, 4 years. So, Chara gone. Right, Backus gone.
Bergeron.
Krug was in front of him. Kevin Miller used to be in front of him. So So it's kind of weird. And I just don't know if Marchand's the guy you want talking to officials, but I'm cool with it. He's 100% earned it. I was just more surprised on that one.
Who's the other A? Is it Krejci?
Krejci. He's been in the A forever. The other one that you put down, Tuukka Rask said he got a call from his family that they needed to call an ambulance for his daughter, informed the team, and left the bubble the next day. I think that's a normal response, dude. I don't think – go ahead.
I have 2 things on this. Number one, suck it to all the people that were calling Tuukka Rask a fucking traitor. That's ridiculous after this comes out. However, number 2, why did this not come out the day that it had happened? This whole story of Tuukka Rask being an awful teammate wouldn't even have been out there.
There were rumors about it. I think he just like didn't want to.
Wouldn't have been easier just to say, I'm leaving because my daughter's in the hot. Like,
what if it's your personal business and you don't know if your daughter's going to be all right? Like, it's kind of easier to just be like family news or.
Yes, dude. I would rather come out instead of being ripped in the media every day for it.
Yeah, but I feel like Tuukka's been such a good goalie for us, and he gets treated like shit in this town that he probably was just kind of like, fuck you guys. Like, I don't care what you write.
Does Tuukka get his jersey retired when he retires?
Maybe. Yeah. He's close. He's always going to be a legend. I mean, unbelievable goalie. So yeah, that you're right. I guess my take really should be fuck everyone who freaked out. Happy that he's back. And like, if anybody else would do the same exact thing, like your like little girl is in the fucking hospital. Like, what are you gonna be like? Oh, all right, cool. Like, let me go out there and fucking play the Storm Surge tomorrow.
Yeah, hey sweetheart, sorry, I'm in the bubble. I'll call you back later.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's something.
Tell her daddy hopes she gets well soon. Like, what?
Good point. Couple other quick things I wrote down. Give Nick Ritchie a chance. I guess.
Oh God, here we go.
I guess the rumor is Nick Ritchie looks really good in training camp, and our third line, it has a ton of chemistry. Third line right now is Ritchie, Coyle, and Craig Smith, who just came over.
Heavy line, dude.
Yeah, and Craig Smith's like 13th for right wings in goals in the last 13. He always scores 20 goals. Coyle finally kind of has a third line. I'm not banking on Ritchie showing up, but if he does, it's an added bonus. So I'm just saying Bruins fans have been really hard. Give him a chance.
Marchie's out, right, for a while?
He's actually he's back early. He's on the first line.
Oh, he's already back? Isn't somebody out? Wait, so do you have your first line back?
Pasta's out?
Somebody's out. I'm trying to figure out the Bruins line. I thought somebody was out extended period of time. Was I wrong on that?
No, you're 100% right, and I'm kind of blanking right now, but I'm like 95% sure it's Pasta. It is Pasta. So Pasta's out for like half. He's going to be back in like mid-February. They said he's ahead of schedule.
So let's say I don't want to talk about right now. Let's talk about like when you guys. So you have your first awesome line. You have that as your third line. Then you have DeBrusk, Krejci, and then who else is it? York?
Casa, that kid that we got from the Ducks.
Okay.
And then the first line right now, they have Marchand, Bergeron, and Studnicka, our young guy. They're putting with those two. Fourth line, and this is my next one, Anders Bjork, the guy that you were pumping his tires in the playoffs. Anders Bjork has been like the training camp legend of the last 4 years where everyone just pumps him up.
He looked great in the playoffs.
He is I'll read you a tweet from a beat writer on Anders Bjork really quick because I think this will pump you up. I don't know if I sent this to you. Bjork's a madman right now. He's winning battles, supporting line mates, firing good shots on goal. He's been shoved by Clifton and Moore at the end of each shift. So he's bringing energy, and right now they have him playing with Wagner and Corrali on the fourth line, and I kind of like that.
How about Wagner fitting in on the Bruins, by the way? What a fucking awesome Boston Bruin.
Well, it's nice to see sometimes, too, because we have so many Boston guys on our team, Massachusetts kids, and you see, like, the Jimmy Hayes that don't work out, and it's always refreshing.
Was it Frank Vetrana?
Yeah, and the Springfield Rifle. He's still an NHL goal scorer, dude. Yeah, I know. It's just nice to kind of see him work out, an old EJHL guy. Last one, and this is kind of the wild card. I don't know what's going to happen with RD. Jeremy Lauzon is originally rumored to play first-line minutes with McAvoy. Here's my thought process on it. Jeremy Lauzon's a shutdown defenseman. He's kind of like that Ryan Lindgren role that we were just talking about earlier. I don't think it's ideal, but the thought process behind it is that Lauzon likes to hit people. He likes to clear the net, and he likes to stay back, and that lets McAvoy roam. And that's what Chara did. Chara was not a good skater at the end of his career. He was just kind of there to be back for McAvoy to kind of join the rush. So I like that. I also like splitting up Matt Grzelcyk because if Grzelcyk and McAvoy are on the same pair, which sometimes they are, those are your two best skating defensemen. Like, you need it throughout the lineup. So it'll be interesting to see, dude. It's a weird Bruins team. They're young. It's time for Don Sweeney's weird-ass draft picks to show up.
All right. That's what we have on the old Bruins there. So now, we need the Beer League Roundup. I just want to mention a couple things. I ordered a large helmet. I don't know why.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I got to interrupt you, dude. I thought I am the producer of the show, so I kind of have I got a couple things in my head. I'm going to run through it. I'll get to your turn for Beer League, Jimmy, but I'm just going to, sorry. I know I cut you off. I cut you off hard, but welcome to Beer League Roundup. I just wanted to talk about a couple of things first. Thank you, boys.
Where's the music?
We don't have Beer League Roundup music. I can get that made, though.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we got a couple things to talk about. We're going to talk about Jimmy's stuff, Hal's back on the ice. Before I wanted to get into it, just wanted to give a quick shout out to Body Armor. Body Armor just signed Dylan Larkin. So cheers to that. They send us like 24 of these just for reposting a story about Dylan Larkin. So cheers to Body Armor. Great way to refuel your beer league. So I thought that this was appropriate.
What the fuck is this, dude? All right, we're going to take a step back really quick. Just because the company sends you free merch doesn't mean we shout them out, dude. That's where you get in there.
I'm okay on that part, but like we need to start figuring out that the product gets sent to the fucking Ked's house, because every time it gets sent to fucking Dale's house, we don't sniff any of it.
Ever.
I actually have half of it in my closet waiting for you to come pick it up.
I'm just chopped liver.
Is it with the CBD stuff too, dude, or is that gone?
Yeah, so that brings me to my next point. Shout out to Can-I Brands. Just quickly wanted to give them a shout out for a nice little men cream after Beer League really hits the spot. So we'll get into more on Can-I Brands in a couple more future podcasts, but great people. Feel free to check them out. Sorry for monopolizing the little Beer League roundup there. So I'll pass it over to Ted now to talk to your game.
Okay, I'm back, guys. Thank you, Dale. I just want to talk about this. I ordered a large helmet. I don't know why. I thought I had a large head. Didn't fit me. Ordered a visor. The visor didn't fit the helmet. I spent an hour and a half trying to put this visor, and it's literally like they're both Bauer. So I don't understand why that didn't work. I'm shipping those back. I got a white 4500 coming, and I bought like one of those cheaper visors from Hockeytron, like the alkaline ones. That was only like $25. So I ended up saving a ton of money. Shout out to me. The new gloves from Sideline Swap came in. They're unreal.
Before we get to your Daryl Powell fanboy gloves, I do want to circle back. So was it the 4500 that didn't fit?
Yeah, the 4500 did.
So as a guy with a head that doesn't like fit hats and it's pretty big, when I buy helmets, the first thing I do in the store, I usually don't buy them online for this reason, is I'll open them up and I'll just fucking extend them as far as I can and hope that it fits. 4500s I've never been able to wear a 4500. I look how it looks, but
you brought that up because the 4500 is the helmet that is the hardest to adjust out of all helmets.
And it's tight, and the padding's thick. It's almost more like a football helmet, how thick the padding is, and it does, like, if you have a big head, 4500 is a great style, but it's not for you.
Yeah, I don't think in terms of like front back is pretty good to adjust, but if you have a wide head,
yeah, you're fucked. 100%.
But the new gloves are sick, by the way. My Daryl Powell fanboy gloves. They felt pretty good.
You use them? Are they game worn?
I mean, they're used. I don't know if they're game worn. They're definitely used.
Practice worn.
They're fucking awesome, though, dude. They feel really good. I'm normally accustomed to like the 4 rolls, but these are like the Vapor APX or whatever the hell they are. They're really nice gloves.
You know how like kids are like stepbrother or blood brothers, where like they share blood? Like, do you think technically like Daryl Powell's like sweats and your sweat, and like it's kind of giving you some?
I had two. I'm not trying to pump myself up a little bit, but I had 2 absolute snipes in the last skate that I had when I used them for the first time, and I felt a little NHL in my shots. So.
Who can forget Daryl Powell's 2012-2013 season? 34 games played, 0 goals, 0 assists.
How many NHL games do you have, dude?
I know, it's just such a funny person to get their gloves, and I don't want to slander him too much, because like he was great in the Wolfpack, right? He grinded his way through the Philly Phantoms. Like, he was a good player. I'm not really hating on Daryl Powell. It's just one of the more obscure Ranger stock gloves that I think you can have.
it's not even Ranger stock gloves. I think NHL stock gloves, like Daryl Powell out of all the people to get. But I have them.
Side note, though, some people might not think, like, if they're not Rangers fans, they might not think those are Daryl Powell's gloves. They might just think your last name's Powell, and like, they'll be like, oh.
I mean, that's also a good point. And they're embroidered. I wondered, like, what embroidered Daryl Powell's gloves were like. Who's this guy?
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't fucking know. And you got pants too, Rangers pants.
They didn't come in yet, but they're well on their way. And I only have one other thing. So we found a Friday skate in Clifton Park today. When you get back to going, it's definitely better than the Tuesday skate. But I got to skate with Jack O'Callahan's kid, which was pretty cool.
Tell me about that.
I just showed up to the skate. Greenway, shout out to him. He's one of my heroes of the week. One of the first things he says is like, yeah, Jack O'Callahan kid skates in this. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So he wasn't on my team. I didn't really get to talk to him or whatever, but it was kind of cool to see. He definitely he's a good hockey player, but he definitely has like that old school kind of stride, like what he does, like shots, passes, like he just plays the game hard. So I thought that was kind of cool. And the Friday skate's really, really good. So that's something that I think I'm going to really start doing, especially with COVID. You can't really go out on a Friday. I'd much rather play hockey and come home. There's nothing better than that. So that's what I have on my beer league roundup. I have a skate today, and our game got canceled because COVID. So that's my beer league. What do you guys got?
Dale.
Yeah, so I've been on a little beer league hiatus, but yesterday I made my debut out on Saratoga Lake. So I had a nice fucking awesome day, awesome morning skate. I went live on our Instagram account. I'm also gonna share my screen here real quick. Here. Yeah, so here's the nice little video. I don't know if you guys can hear it on your end, but Hockey Night in Canada retweeted it. Huge. Shout out to Two Buttons Deep and Hockey Night in Canada for retweeting that. It's gonna stop the screen share now, but all in all, beautiful day. Ice wasn't like glass, like the best it's ever been, but you know, no shame in a little bumps. Definitely about 4 inches deep. I talked to an ice fisherman the night before. Felt pretty comfortable out there. A little more to the story, but yeah, we'll get into it.
No, there's actually so Dale, I think you're burying the lead because I found out about a very interesting story that I need to tell on the podcast.
This might be a 0 or 0. I'm thinking.
I mean, I can go into it now. It's not fully my 0, but.
Oh, you weren't even going to talk about it?
No, you weren't.
No, I am. I was just waiting to.
You definitely was because we have the picture right there.
Yeah. All right, can we talk about this really quick?
Well, before we talk about this, can we just talk about, like, when you hop on a rink, I don't know about you guys. I'm always very afraid the first time I step on a lake or a pond because you don't know how thick it's supposed to be. So shout out to the Morning Skate for doing this. Insert a tape measure into the hole, hook the end on the edge of the ice, take the measurement. Yeah. If your reading is at least 4 inches, proceed with caution. Ice more than 5 inches thick will likely hold a snowmobile, and ice more than 8 inches thick will likely support a car or small pickup truck. It's how do you make the hole?
So an ice fisherman, auger.
You need to buy an auger okay, all right.
No. So normally my barometer when I decide when it's safe to go out on Saratoga Lake is to look for the ice fisherman. So I was driving Friday night after a little walk with my dog. Just driving by, and there's a point on this road that you can kind of see down if there's people on the lake. And I was like, holy shit, there's ice fishermen out on the lake. I'm going to go check it out. So I just ran out, kind of grabbed my skates, went out on the ice and talked to them. They were like, yeah, we're looking at 4 inches. So I felt pretty confident Friday night. It was pretty dark, so I only skated for like 10 minutes, got off the ice, and then kind of went to bed knowing that I was going to get up in the morning the next day. Saturday morning, and I really don't want to joke about this because it was honestly kind of frightening to see this image. If you're listening to this audio, you can't really see, but it's basically within the first 20 minutes of skating on the ice, we noticed this hole on the ice where it looks like somebody definitely fell through, and they left their beanie and a kind of intermediate hockey stick lying down on the ice with a puck as well. kind of like half frozen, and the hole was frozen over. So it looked like it had happened the night before. But the weird thing my dad and I were worried about was that there wasn't really a clear path. If you look at kind of the ice, that somebody had made it out. So really kind of a frightening scene. So we called the cops, and cops came and did a missing person report, and it's just kind of scary. So literally 45 minutes are going by, and we don't know if, you know, if the firemen are they're gonna dig down and try to like literally dig out, because we didn't know if there's a person still underneath. Long story short,
there a person underneath?
So 45 minutes goes by. The son of the manager of the homeowners association came out, talked to the cops, and told them, yeah, 2 days ago, my friend of a friend fell through. He made it out. He said, you know, screw the stick and the hat. We didn't go back out for it. So kid made it out 2 days prior. It was just a really eerie scene to skate up to a hole that was frozen over with a hockey stick, a puck, and a hat surrounding it. So always be safe.
Make fun of it right now. I'm just gonna cut you off. I'm gonna make fun of it. There was no one in the fucking hole, dude. Why can't we make fun of it?
No, we can now. We can now. I'm just not trying to make
it in 20 seconds.
There was no one in the hole, dude. Someone fell in. You got your idea was right, but you're acting very somber. Like the dude.
Well, if you had gone through the experience that I went through, which was 45 minutes of like literally thinking that there's a decent chance.
There's nothing you can even do if somebody's in the hole, though.
It's pretty weird and somber, though, to like have that fucking go through.
Also, get the fuck off the ice if you see.
That's what I would do.
What? If I saw that hole, I would have gone off the ice as fast as fucking possible. Like, I don't know. I would wait. I'm probably going to wait until about February before I even think about going out on that ice.
Well, the ice was good. It was a wonderful day skating. No, it was. So that happened 2 days prior, and it's been pretty cold. It was 13 degrees this morning. So ice is good on Saratoga Lake. I'm happy about that. The video repost by Hockey Night in Canada was fucking awesome. So
if you're from Saratoga, I want me to say that I don't think the ice is good on Saratoga Lake, because if you go out on there because Garrison said the ice is good on Saratoga Lake and you fall in, I want people to know that did not come from Ken.
All right, so yeah, I'll reiterate. It happened 3 days ago. Now I think the ice is good.
Definitely scary though, Dale. So
yeah,
you told me this, and I didn't get like the actual what ended up happening. I think I just got the initial, I called the cops, and I immediately thought either somebody's dead or somebody like staged this, because there's no other reason why a hat and a stick would be out there. And then I'm like, what asshole would stage like falling through the ice? So then I'm like, oh shit, somebody probably is dead. But glad that the person's not dead. Wild. Can you imagine how fucking cold that was? Oh my god. Also super lucky, because apparently when you fall in the hole, when you come back up, you don't come up where you fell in. So thank God that kid figured. How old did the kid do you think he was?
Like 22. I know his friend who lives in the neighborhood.
Fuck that, man. That is some cold ass.
2022. Yeah.
I don't know.
Can you imagine taking those skates off?
No. Can you imagine the walk to the house afterwards? Just cold and wet. The worst. But
CSI Dale.
Clyde's okay. I'm gonna wait a few more weeks before before I think about that. That just creeped me out. Have you guys ever skated on a pond, by the way? Like an actual pond, not a lake, but a pond?
Yeah.
You ever hear the ice move and shit? How creepy that is. Like there's that distinct, like you can literally hear it and you're like, oh my God. But like you're fine, but at the same time, it creeps me out. That's Beer League. Dale, heal up so we can get those games back going on. Hal, actually, I don't think you've updated us, dude.
Oh, I don't have much. I think I went over it last week that hockey was back briefly. First game tonight, 10:50 on a Sunday. That's strike one.
That's strike one.
Strike two would be 7 players after not playing for like 2.5 months. I'm nervous about that. I'm not going to sit here and lie. My team captain basically sent out an email basically being like, we're probably going to get dummied, just like give it our all, which is a fucking tough go.
I love that.
I'm just excited to get back on the ice, honestly. That's all I have on it. Like, there's a ton of regulations and it sucks. Like, wearing masks. Like they close the locker rooms. There's going to be like specific like get ready areas that you have to go to. There's a bunch of rules and shit in it, but it still blows my mind that some people are like, nah, I don't want to do it. Like I have nothing else to live for outside of like work, like hobby wise. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to have fucking hobbies during COVID.
I haven't played hockey with a mask on. That's my only thing.
I have to try, and I'm a little nervous.
What type of mask are you wearing? Are you wearing like just the regular blue one, or are you wearing one of those like fish gator things?
The issue I have with the gator is sweat. Like, think how much sweat you're gonna have, and like, I just like my neck being like having all that built up. I think I'm just gonna go like cheap, reusable blue one. My only concern with those is I think those are gonna get soaked too, and then when it gets soaked, it's not as breathable, and I'm gonna have like an asthma attack, dude.
Problems. I don't know. Definitely let us know how that goes. 10:50 on a Sunday. I think Dale can agree to this. It's a lot better driving to hockey with somebody than doing it by yourself. And 10:50 on a Sunday night, I would want to be driving to hockey and driving home from hockey with Dale, talking morning skate, listening to music, chilling. Doing it by yourself, I think it adds an extra element of just like, oh boy, especially the way home.
Way home's tough. I don't mind the way there.
Right there, you're jacked up. You're like, fuck
yeah, exactly. But once you get off, like the thing about a 10:50 skate compared to like an 8 o'clock skate is when you get off the ice, like it fucking strikes. And also, like one of those rinks where it has like the actual time, like in a corner on a clock, so you can like see it live. You know what I mean? Like you kind of take a glance. It's like, fuck me.
You're down like 9-1. It's like 12:02 in the morning, and you're like, oh my God.
Spin zone on that. If we're just going to get absolutely dummied for the next 2 months, at least running clock in the third if you're down by 5, I think. So we'll get out on time.
And you extended an invite to myself and Dale to come skate up there. We're waiting for Dale to go to the blue tent and pass COVID protocol. But once that's done, I think, Dale, I'd take a Monday off to go do that.
Yeah, I'm wearing a mask, though.
We have to. Yeah. It's league rules. I'd have to figure out. Well, you actually have the mask that attaches to your cage, so you could probably just wear that, right or no?
Yeah. No.
Oh, you need like a legit like on your face?
Yeah.
Damn.
Because like, what would a barred mask do? I thought about that at first too.
I was actually thinking about this too, and I didn't know if I had it right. Dale, does it go on the outside of your cage or the inside of your cage?
It goes on the inside of your cage, but like in between your chin piece and the cage itself.
So how he couldn't wear that?
What?
It's like the CCM branded one that a lot of youth hockey players.
I bet Dale could wear that thing.
It goes on the outside of the cage?
No, on the inside. Actually, Hal, if you have to end up wearing a mask, I know it's like it is what it is, but that would be something I would definitely look at.
All right, send me a link, Dale. That's all I got.
All right, so that was the beer league roundup. Where are we going next, Dale?
So next we got the Patty B hotline.
Hey, this is the Patty B hotline, brought to you by the Morning Skate.
All right, thanks, Pat. And we're gonna play your question this week.
Hey, Morning Skate, Patty B here. All right, here's my question. What will be your man cave name for like your house, basement, whatever, to watch hockey games and stuff? Mine is the penalty box because, well, I'm a ref. All right, later, guys. Bye.
All right, the penalty box. That's a good name, Pat. Ked, what would your beer league?
I would like cross back really quick though, Dale. A ref themed man cave just feels a little off to me, Patty B. Like, don't take this the wrong way, but I just imagine a bunch of like beer league refs getting together and just like arguing calls all game at the fucking penalty box, like
playing Pictionary out of the rule book.
It's like I just keep thinking of like Foot Locker refs, you know what I mean? Like just like ref jerseys everywhere. The penalty box, not a bad name, just ref themed, Patty. Ref themed.
I like the penalty box name though. I always thought like we've always kind of talked about like owning our own bar. It would have been kind of cool if we had a bar called the Penalty Box, but you'd have to live somewhere where people actually gave a shit about hockey. Like I'm sure there's definitely bars in Canada called the Penalty Box, right?
Yeah, 100%.
My man cave name would be my room. because more than likely I'd be living with a significant other. I would want to assert dominance, and I would want to be like, well, you know what? I'm going to my room. I think it'd be really funny. So I think my man cave name would be I'm going to my room.
I'll go right there with you, dude. I think my man cave name would probably be the basement. I feel like a basement's an area that if I can redo it properly, I would be granted access to handle the way I would like. So basement, your room, like where did you expect yours to be?
Well, I don't know. My room presents ownership too, like my room. So it not only is it asserting dominance, it's asserting ownership of a place in the humble abode.
Good point. I like that. Dale,
I like the basement though, because if you name it the basement, it has to be in the basement. Therefore, you're also presenting ownership for an entire floor of your home.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and I think about it too. If I ever live somewhere warm, which I won't, like maybe I would go like gazebo route outside man cave possibly.
What would you call that? Like if it was the gazebo?
Arguably the gazebo. I think we're keeping it pretty simple right now, dude.
I would say I'm going to the shack. I'm going to the shack.
It's not bad, dude. Dale, what about you? I'm gonna throw this out there too, Dale. You can disagree. I don't see you as a man cave guy.
Yeah.
Dale's would be the office.
Well, yeah. I think my
office.
Dale,
Gretzky's office would be tight. Yeah.
Would you rather have a personal office or a man cave in your house?
Yeah, so I think my man cave would be kind of a personal offense where I could create content and just like be alone. Call it the positivity pod. Be doing podcasts in the pod. I don't know, just kind of a nice little home office where I could say, hey, this is a positivity zone. Do not bring any negativity in here.
I love that. I love that for you. Now, what is I'm going to ask each of you. What are two things that you want to go into your man cave? Two things off the top of your head.
A big ass TV and a mini fridge.
There's Hal. What about you, Dale?
Yeah, I was thinking like a seltzer kombucha tap. What? Why not, dude? I don't drink alcohol.
What you're describing to me is like the rec room of a startup company where they have kombucha on tap, like they record podcasts and maybe like a ping pong table.
That's what I want to do, dude.
All right. Do you agree that doesn't sound like a startup company, like a small owned business that like has like, yeah, and then you come to the kombucha room every Friday and we all like talk about our week.
Well, what else? You'd have that on tap. What's the other thing you'd have?
Sorry, Dale.
I would have some kind of I don't know, some kind of fucking content creation station where I have all kinds of different cameras and GoPros and video things.
I like that. I would have a key lock or a key code entry. That would be one, and then a jacuzzi. I think if you have those two things in your man cave, that would be fucking tight, dude. Yeah, you need to know the password, and then once you get in there, I'm Bath Gang. You guys know that, dude.
Indoor jacuzzi.
Do those exist?
I don't know, like at like Residence Inns. I'm sure they do, yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. So that'd be my
or a sauna, dude. A sauna would be tight.
Sauna would be cool. Sauna would be really cool for a man cave. But thank you, Patty B. Guys, leave us a voicemail if you look at the ticker at the bottom of the screen. If you're listening to the podcast, it's 518-309-2595. Leave us your voicemails. We'll talk about pretty much whatever you guys want to talk about, as long as it's okay to talk about. So, what do we got next?
Hell yeah, thanks, Ked. And now moving on to Dom Moore's Heroes and Zeros.
Hey fans, this is Dominic Moore. I'm just going to take you guys through a little bit of the behind-the-scenes stuff here.
All right. Thanks, Dom. Ked, you want to start us off with your hero or zero of the week?
So I have two heroes. I'm going to go back to back. My first hero of the week, we got to skate with local legend Eric Greenway. Guy sharpened my skates for years. First time I met him, he was pounding keystones on the bench of a Friday night Saratoga skate. And then years later, he walked into my junior college hockey locker room, dropped a duffel bag full of sticks in the middle of the room and said, "Boys, I'm 27 years old. I have a wife, a kid on the way, and all I want to do is play college hockey." This guy is an unbelievable just specimen of just old-time hockey. He loves – I think he owns probably every Philadelphia Flyers jersey there is to own, along with Phantoms jerseys. He got furloughed during COVID, and he was telling me all he did was eat steaks and drink beer. But he also did tell me that he played a lot of video games, and he won a Stanley Cup on NHL 92 all the way to NHL 2021. So he had the Sega Genesis out, he had the PS1, the PS2s, and he won a Stanley Cup in every single one of those. He told me that, and I was blown away, dude. That's unbelievable. I wish you would have told me that, because that could have been easy content creation, like on a TikTok or something like that. But shout out to Greener. What do you guys have on him winning all these Stanley Cups, dude?
That's huge, dude. I mean, the only thing I'm thinking about is he had to have simmed a couple of games. There's no way he didn't mix in a couple sims. I know it. As a franchise mode guy, you have to throw in a couple of sims. I'd be interested to see what he said, because if he truly played 82 games, that's super impressive. Did he tell you what level he's playing on? Did it vary per game?
I didn't ask. I was still just blown away that he played like 20-plus years of NHL.
It's a grind. It's a respect. And on this note, too, I do want to throw this up because it's kind of pissing me off. Someone told me, some nerd I read said that it's really hard for NHL to code and change their game and stuff, even though it seems like Call of Duty does it all the time. But why can't franchise mode have the correct divisions and schedule for the year? Like, they're using 2018, 2019 schedule. That doesn't even make sense. Like, just update it. Is it really that hard? Like, people are like, it's going to mess with the mainframe. It's like, you build video games.
Yeah, bro. Woo-hoo. It's your fucking job.
Yeah, dude. Like, why can't I get a 50-game schedule? And also, this sounds so stupid, but I wish there weren't any fans in the fucking rink. Give me something that's real. Like,
in real life. If Call of Duty can change the inside of the stadium, you can take fans out of the rink.
Yeah, fucking figure it out. So, but I agree. Good for Greener. That's unbelievable.
Dale, do you have anything on that? I mean, that's a lot of video games.
I think that's wicked impressive. Props to Greener. 92 to now.
It's nuts. And then my other hero of the week goes to Ryan Reeves. This guy, Chip Tamplin, did a cameo with Ryan Reeves. He said, "Hey, Ryan, I was hoping you could give my friend Tom a pep talk before his season starts. Can you tell him that he's a great player and you think he'll have a great season? He's also a snappy dresser, too. Just for good measure, thank you." And this is what Ryan Reeves had to say back.
Now, look, I know this says for Tom, and I read your little thing, Chip Tamplin, but this sounded awfully suspicious to me. So I looked you up. You're a big Capitals fan. I wonder who this Tom could be. Listen, if you're going to try and run with the best, you got to do better than that. No, I'm not going to tell Tom he's a good player. You know, he is a good player. I'll tell him that. But no, I'm not going to tell him he's a good fighter. I don't know how he dresses. I don't keep up on his dress code. Don't try and play me, Chip Tamplin. Your life revolves around the Capitals. I know how to do my research, too. I'm the king of this shit. Don't fuck with me.
Ryan Reeves, dude, I love the cameo. It was as true and genuine as that gets. So shout out to Ryan Reeves. What do you have on this?
Two things. One, I hate the Knights, but Ryan Reeves is probably the most redeeming thing about their organization. Number two, tough to be named Chip in that instance. We know some Chips. That's a tough go. And actually, number three, I want to back it up. If you were a celebrity, would you have a cameo? Because to me, I feel, and this might be a bad take, I feel if you're on Cameo, like if I thought you were a C-list star and then I saw you on Cameo, I would bump you down to a D-list star. Do you know what I mean? I think
if you're a C-list star on Cameo, you're having trouble paying the bills.
Right. And so then you're no longer a C-list star. I just think Cameo, not a fan. I'm a fan of like the videos that come out. I just think like if you're on there, it's kind of like, what's wrong, bro?
No offense.
I guess, but it's like anything, right? Price, you know, demand, premium pricing. Like there's some people that are on there that it's priced really high.
Right.
Like no offense to Daryl Powell, but if Daryl Powell's on Cameo, like,
do you get it? And shout out to this Chip guy too. He probably spent a bunch of money on this, and then to have that thrown back in your face, it's like fuck.
It's pretty funny.
Still pretty cool though that Ryan Reeves did that, and shout out to him, Hero of the Week. So what do you guys have on your Heroes and Zeros of the Week?
Yeah, I'll go next if you want, Hal. Hero of the Week is StreamYard, the software I'm just having a great time with. Excited to take the morning skate to the next level with this premium production here. Not much else than that. Just Jimmy and I had a lot of fun last night learning the software, and excited to bring some cool stuff to you guys. My zero of the week is ODR Ice Armchair Experts. Like, you're sitting on your couch, please don't comment on things telling me how thick the ice is. Like, I know what I'm doing. I've done this for years. I'm not shouting you out, kid, or coming at you for what you said earlier, but it's just the way it is. Sometimes you got to be in the moment to assess a situation, and my dad and I are pretty good at knowing when the ice is ready. So again, nothing at you, Ked, but there's just some people that like commented on things online. It's like, come on, I'm here. I'm on the ice. Don't tell me things. But that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. I don't want to do this to you, Dale. I gotta throw the counterpoint back out there though, that you and your dad thought someone fell through 3 days early, and it turned out it happened 3 days earlier. And you can keep saying 3 days, bro, but the weather's been warm in New York and in Maine on and on. You don't
maybe in Maine. It's been pretty cold here.
I really don't. It's colder here than it is there, like all the time, dude. Like I'm just throwing it out there, bro. I think you're being a little cocky with this ice.
Dale, can you find that picture that you sent out? What the HOA, they released a statement regarding this, talking about how the lake had springs underneath, and while it might look thick, some parts aren't.
Yeah, so the Saratoga Lake Association, I was trying to say something like that.
But hey, dude, I agree. Why are they trying to ruin your fun? But I'm just worried about you, bro.
I digress, dude. Moving on.
All right, my zero of the week is Dale's safety. Just kidding. It's not your safety. My zero of the week really quick is Nesson. I just want to throw this out there. We kind of talk about cable companies a ton. I've been using YouTube TV for like 3 years to stream the Bruins. It's fucking awesome because I don't know if I should say this, but you can, like, my dad uses my account and he's able to watch Bruins games in New York, like without having to like buy the package. And the shitty thing about this too, so putting somebody who's out of market into perspective, like for example, my dad lives out of market of Boston Bruins games, right? If he buys the NHL package, then those games get blacked out when they're playing the Rangers, Devils, Sabres. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just so hard to watch every game like easily. Like, you just have to fucking buy cable. So I'm either gonna have to buy cable or figure something out, because Nesson's no longer on YouTube TV because they like ended contract negotiations. So fuck Nesson. I don't understand why it's so hard for people to watch NHL hockey games in the year 2021. Like, I don't want to illegally stream it. Like, I want to watch it. What the fuck's your problem?
No, I agree with that too, because the Rangers don't post their stuff, but they're super happy about posting clips on Twitter.
And 100%, right? You mentioned the Leafs did like the scrimmages live on TV. That's one thing. Number two, I'm sure there's a contract in place, but can we get World Juniors on like NBCSN? Like, why is it on NHL Network? Grow the game, right? NHL, you bunch of nerds.
And Dave Starman, dude.
Yeah, like please, anything else. So that's my zero of the week.
Dave Starman did grow on me as the thing went on. Like, if you replace Mike Milbury with Dave Starman, I don't think I'd be it, because he does say some pretty funny things. Like when the U.S. was up on Finland, he's like, "Oh, and the Finns are looking at Spencer Knight and think you got to put 4 on him. Good luck with that." And then the Finns almost came back and put 4 on Spencer Knight. So it's like,
good point. Hero of the week. This is a fucking crossover to football. I just want to throw this out. Connor Olszewski. This guy for the Patriots, he just reminds me of Ken, so that's why I wanted to put it up there. He was a D2 football player, undrafted to the Patriots. He's their punt returner. His named First Team All-Pro. He had one tweet, really. He said, "If you drive a Chevy, you're good. You'll be able to make it to practice. It's them guys driving Fords and stuff that I worry about. That's the only advice I give. Get a Chevy." This guy just reminds me of like Friday Night Lights, Texas high school football. I just feel like he embodies that shit. And I looked it up too. Turns out he does not have a Chevy endorsement.
There's no shot he's endorsed by Chevy.
But he is angling to get one. So I respect that hustle too. Just fucking throw it out there into the clouds. I mean, that's a good move. PR 101.
I love that. I love that. Shout out to them. I love that one picture of him in a white beater and like baggy jeans. It's just like, I can't.
Hacking a lip at like the press conference with a spitter in his hand. Like, can you imagine? Like, maybe that's why Tom Brady left. He's like, that guy's next to me in the locker room.
You can't pick two wildly different people.
Yeah. So that's I think that's Heroes of the Week.
Heroes of the Week.
Hell yeah. Moving on, last segment, boys. 3 stars.
All right, Jim and Mike, thanks very kindly. A nice weekend for you. As always, our 3-star selectors are stars of the hockey scene wherever we go on Rogers Hometown Hockey.
3 stars. stars of the week.
3.
What's 3 stars this week, Dale?
All right, 3 stars this week, given that it is January 10th, is the 3 things you look forward to at the start of the year. New year, new season. One of the things, I guess I'm just going to keep going. My 3rd star is a new notebook. You know, I'm a notebook guy, write things down. Notebooks, just got a new notebook. It's time to reset, write down some goals. I know it's kind of cliche, but yeah, got a lot of cool things here and excited to get a clear slate here.
Like for your internet. Is your internet giving out, bro? Okay, did you hear that?
Yeah, it's fresh slate, positivity.
But we're going to be positive because that's your 3rd star, and I love that, dude. I need a positive spin on my day. I'm a negative Nancy Dale. And as much as sometimes we rag you on the podcast, I need that positivity. So, nice one.
Thanks, bro. What's yours?
Beer league hockey being back. We already talked about it. That's it. Playing hockey. I'm excited for hockey to come back. The NHL, and I'm excited to play fucking hockey. And it's winter, right? It's fucking January. It's perfect. Hockey's coming back because this is when I get the fucking itch. So it's hockey season.
Oh yeah, dude. My 3rd star, center ice. Hockey season's back. I play a lot of Call of Duty now. I think I'm going to probably tone that down now that I have the package, and just being able to watch West Coast games, laying in bed, just chilling, surfing the internet, Reddit, Twitter, seeing what's going on. It's yeah, I mean, I'm just so excited for hockey. Like, nonstop hockey's gonna be incredible.
Yeah, I mean, so for you, center. So I just kind of shit on center ice a little bit. You get center ice every year?
Every year.
And like, so for you, what do you use it most for? Like you said, West Coast games, just like something to like watch at the end of the night, or is it something like
a replacement for Netflix and all that stuff? Like,
yeah.
I like watching different shows and stuff, but during hockey season, like, I can't get enough of it. And I love
my favorite time too is like Saturday night West Coast game. Like, you like probably already drank too much and you're half in the bag and you just kind of fall asleep to it.
Yep, you have the Sharks playing like the Knights or something, and you have Evander Kane and Ryan Reeves going at it. Evander Kane's looking for some extra money. I'm sure Ryan Reeves is telling him about it. Dude, it's gonna be good.
Oh yeah, Dale, what's your 2nd star?
So my 2nd star of the week is just positivity. So I'm in a group chat called the Accountability Team with 4 other of my best friends. I know you guys aren't in the specific chat, but it's that time of year. Everybody's going to the gym or talking about going to the gym or going on runs or eating healthy, and it's really nice to have 3-4 guys in a group chat that you can kind of hold yourself accountable to, drinking a gallon of water a day, kind of stuff like that. But I don't know, just kind of the aura of the first 2 weeks of the new year where everybody's feeling healthy, feeling positive, and supporting each other.
Positivity gang. I was a member of that chat for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I would not. There's 0% chance I would enjoy that, but that sounds right up your alley, Dale. It's good for you and the boys, whoever's a part of that. My 2nd one, this is we talked about vacations for the boys last week. I think we've kind of come to this issue where I think COVID has everyone stir crazy and we're just planning random ass trips for no fucking reason. Dale's gonna be riding his bike from upstate New York to New York City, which maybe we can get into a different time, which is a little bit crazy to me. And then they're trying to plan a nice New York City steak dinner about it. I don't know if it's actually going to happen, like me personally going because of COVID and whatnot. But the idea of having like a very nice steak dinner with the boys is something I can look forward to. Like, I love it. Like, New York City steakhouse to me, that's like the definition of like luxury dining. I know that sounds so fucking stupid, but like, you go to a steakhouse, you pound like as much red wine as you can, and you just eat a fat ass steak. The sides, the appetizers are usually on point, and then you just pray to God that the bill's not as high as you think it will be when it comes your way, but you eat it for the boys. Steak, yeah, steak guy? I mean, Dale, I know you're a steak guy because you're strictly cast iron. You're cast iron over grill at home, correct?
Made the transition about a year ago, yeah.
Never looked back. Dale, Ked, are you a steak guy?
Yeah, dude.
What's the cut? Like, if Ked's coming home from, like, what's the cut that you get? Like, are you talking like a filet? Are you doing like a ribeye? What's the type of Ked steak?
Sirloin, Delmonico, maybe a little porterhouse.
Yeah. What about like a good tomahawk? The only do you ever fuck with the tomahawks off the bone?
I don't fuck with the tomahawks. I tried Omaha steaks one time. I thought they were super overrated. They're classic. Give me a sirloin, give me a Delmonico, and send it.
Yeah, so I've never tried Omaha steaks, and I probably shouldn't rip somebody who I've never had before. And like it's like they're always a fucking sponsor for podcasts. So shout out Omaha Steaks, but I don't want my steak fucking frozen and sent in the mail. That's not what steak's all about, bro.
No. And as much as you talked about New York City steak place being like the pinnacle, I would argue like getting a steak in Texas, no? With all the fucking they have out
I got a steak in Dallas last year.
I bet
it was awesome. Yeah. Steakhouse.
See the field where the cow was slaughtered.
And while Hal's eating his steak at Steak Fest, I'm back to my Stewart's Deli Dogs and Dr. Pepper, dude. I put this 3 stars down as 3 things to look forward to at the start of the year. And I think that you guys took start of the year literal when I was kind of talking about the start of the NHL season. So next year I'll be a little bit more specific in terms of like what I'm asking for. But with the Rangers, I'm the 2 deli dogs, the Sheriff dogs with the Dr. Pepper. There's nothing to get you going. Also wings over. Like there's certain dishes that you eat when the Rangers are playing that I get really jacked up for. So that's my 2nd star.
Yeah, because there's that feeling in my head anyway. It's like I can't I don't know how to say this. If there's like a night where I have nothing going on, then I'll take the time to make a nice dinner. But if the Bruins have a game at 7 o'clock, like I probably just want to get home and eat some bullshit and watch the game.
Yeah. Something about that. What's your first star, Dale?
Yeah, Kat, you touched on a really nice point there. There is something about like the snow, the cold that makes me want wings over Saratoga for some reason. So, some foods will do that to you. I've been on a wings over Saratoga kick lately. But my first star, going back to skating on Saratoga Lake, it's just outdoor pond hockey. It's kind of rings in the new year every year. Pre-COVID, I used to try to do kind of like a organized January New Year's Day skate, and we've had some pretty awesome times out on the ice with all the boys and some good little scraps on the ice. Beautiful days. We've had a couple of really nice days. So pond hockey #1. Happy to be back out in the fresh air.
Dude, I love like the winter chill that you get when you're skating around too. The different type of air that you're breathing. That makes sense.
Oh yeah.
That's for me.
First star for me, I'm going to start grinding Chell again. I think I've put too much emphasis on Call of Duty. While it's a great video game, I'm still fucking ass at it. And really looking back, like the Greenway shit kind of inspired me. Like I've played for decades. I used to be pretty good. I've lost my touch last year. I just didn't feel like I had it. I'm struggling with the skill stick, but I'm putting time in right now with the computer, just trying to learn the fucking game and get back to a place where I can be proud. Like there was a time in my life where I was proud of the fact that like if I was at a party and there was a bunch of drunk kids playing NHL, that I could walk in there and I could beat the shit out of anybody on the controllers. Like that's a sense of fucking pride. And like
I still feel that way, but just not online.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's part of it, like the in-person atmosphere, but I would like to get there. Like I feel pretty confident still in online versus. I don't know. I just want to get fucking good at the game again. Do you know what I mean? Like the skill stick, like I just don't feel like I utilize the fucking skill stick the way it should. And it's like, do I pull a Fever Boy Rex where I just start fucking smashing triangle and square with the NHL 94 fucking controllers, or do I stick with it?
I'm on record that if you use classic controllers, it's kind of cheating.
Okay, fair. I like that. So that's Chell for me. Kid, what's your 1 star?
My #1 star at the start of it only happened last year, but I visit my old man, dude. That's what I do. I get emotional pretty much twice a year. 420 was the day he passed away, and then the first Rangers game. 420, I got a little bit emotional last year, but I was also super fucked up. But the first game of the year last year, dude, I was an absolute mess. But feels good to cry it out, man, and I'll visit him and fucking sucks, dude. We got lost Renier. Didn't get to see Capo. I'm hoping the boys make a run this year. Super pumped about it. But, I mean, hockey's back, dude. Hockey is back, and I am so excited. I can't wait for next week's podcast to talk about what's going on in the league. After the first couple of days, it's gonna be pretty fun. I'm sure there's gonna be a ton of drama. We'll see.
This is a fucking beautiful first star, kid. I didn't mean to minimize it. This is a fucking 2-hour podcast, so geez. I mean that's what happens though. Hockey's back, right? Like
it's not a podcast anymore. It's a show. It's 2 hours.
Yeah, we got the predictions out of the way, and then once hockey season kicks in and the fucking stupid Eugene Melnick stories start coming in, like we'll be living again. So I'm excited for it to come back to normal.
It's gonna be pretty awesome. But I think that's what we had for the pod, right? Do you have any other announcements? I mean, we have some people coming on this week. You want to get into that, Dale?
Yeah, I mean, why not? We landed Bucci Gross, so Bucci Gross is coming on Wednesday. Our boy Hank just slid in the DM, so congrats to Hank. Bucci Gross, that's going to be fucking awesome. It's really big for us. So excited for that one for sure. And then Cam Jansen also said he would come on. So boys are wheeling. We're kind of coming into our stride here at the beginning of the season. So feeling good on all cylinders.
Yeah, and if you guys get a chance, just make sure that you're checking us out on pretty much whatever platform that we have. It's showing up on the bottom ticker. It's @morning_skate. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're a show now, dude. So that's where we're at.
Hell yeah. This has been fun.
Episode 175 in the books. We will talk to you guys next week.
Later.